Do you want to stop here? No, I don't want to stop here. The game is not over. I am not out. I am not tapping out. Hard times or tough times, difficult times. I definitely feel like I'm in one right now. Everything is all at once a lot to deal with. I get to test my strength, my resolve, my resilience. I'm a newly single mom. Single because my husband of 6 years and I are uncoupling. I think there's like a shedding of a past identity, and we're both kind of having to find a new identity in each other's lives. Friends and co-parents. I'd say that's difficult. What else is difficult? Being a newly single mom is difficult. Displaced right now from my home. And who knows, will that ever be my home ever again? Probably not. I'm living with my mom. My boys and I are living with my mom. And so, there's coming under her flow in her home. That's a lot because I know it's a lot for her. So it weighs on my mind that I don't want to burn her out. I want her to live a long, healthy life. And so it feels like I've got to get my shit together really fast because I don't want her to outdo herself, or overdo it. She is my support right now. I moved in with her for her support. She is watching the kids when I work. She's there because she's retired. It's not, another person's 9 to 5 I have to work around. It's very much something that she and I can cultivate together, and she loves these kids as much as I do. So there's that drive to do the best for them. I'm who ultimately is responsible for raising these kids. She raised her kids. That's me. I don't have to seek her approval on everything, that I am who I am and she raised me this way. I definitely seek her wisdom. She's wise and I don't take that for granted. And I'm able to ultimately consult with myself and see what feels best. And so that's what I do on a daily, regular basis. But it is difficult. What else is going on with me? Being a solopreneur since having kids, because if you watch any of my other videos, I leaned out my business a lot. So I've got a few contractors, but I don't have the team I used to have. And I've done that by design. One, I wanted to simplify and just see who's doing what and kind of start all over, because I pivoted in my business and I pivoted in my offers. My message has gotten more niche, which also makes my life easier and simpler because I just talk to my fellow entrepreneur mom, my fellow mompreneur. So with this, yet another identity shift for me. I think going from single to married was an identity shift, an easy one to make though, because we were in love and life was just so blissful and exciting, and we had a lot of fun together. And then we have kids, and my postpartum me after the second son, my second kid, was harder than the first. So I struggled with postpartum depression. That's, I think, what signifies hard times. Having so much at once to handle and to trust yourself through and to love yourself through without feeling guilt, regret, remorse, shame, isolation, embarrassment, humiliation, sadness, despair, loneliness. What else? It's you facing that challenge and watching yourself rise. Is how you rise to it enough? Do you know enough? Can you handle this and still be enough? And it's just because life is here. We chose this life. We came to earth to expose ourselves. We walked into this game of life on purpose. to expose ourselves to the opportunities, the experiences, the scenarios, the situations to advance our enlightenment, advance toward enlightenment. I think that is ultimately why the hard times exist. Why does, when it rains, it pours? Why does shit hit the fan? Why do you hit rock bottom? Because we are shifting vastly enough and quickly enough to where it does all feel like it's all happening at once. To change in all those areas, to shift in identity in all those areas like I am and like you are, if you really think about it, in all areas there's some challenge, there's some trial to encounter and conquer within yourself, right? Within your ability to get through this. Yet again, yet another thing, yet again, right? Another thing to get through. It starts to feel exhausting. And that is where I am whenever I let my emotions, what I label how I feel, get in the way of me opening myself up to the awareness that it gives me. Okay, I want this. I have this vision in my life for myself, and I'm hitting on rough times. Things are getting hard. I no longer have support like I did, the same type of, we're in this together, we did this together, we built this together, and now we're no longer doing it together. I've got to build my empire all alone, but still with the same beneficiaries, right? My boys. I do this for them, and I'm so driven, and I've never known a drive like this before. I've been an entrepreneur for 12 plus years, and I've never known drive like this. And so there's the pressure and the weight I feel of the burden of the cross I bear. I feel a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, even though the same players still playing the game. They're still part of the game. They're just playing they're on a different level. And I'm on my level. And I'm coming to terms with my new identity, myself. I want to focus on what the mindset is to walk through this tough time. The mindset I keep coming back to is know yourself and trust yourself. Know who you are. Know what you want for yourself, what you've always known to be yours, right? There's something calling from within you that is like not going to die. And it's not going to die for a reason. That vision you have for yourself that you've always saw as a little girl, a little boy, all the way into adulthood, you still have a dream that it feels and looks a lot like it used to. And even though the last few years may not look like that vision, it doesn't mean it's still not yours. And so I see how all that's happened, while it may have been tough and emotional, I still identify as the version of me in my vision. And so if I still identify as her, then I know it has to be what I'm going through is an edification of her, is solidifying who she is in my mind, testing me enough to say, is this really what you still want? Do you want to stop here? No, I don't want to stop here. The game is not over. I am not out. I am not tapping out. So you keep going. So I'd say that's the first important mindset to have when you're going through tough times is know yourself. Because you can't plan the how, the when, and the where, but you most certainly can plan the why, the what, and the who. The second mindset to have when going through tough times is to trust yourself. Because this is the only way I'm continuing to believe that my vision will still happen, even in light of everything that's happening, to keep me questioning whether I'm good enough for this, capable enough for this, smart enough for this, pretty enough for this, young enough for this, skinny enough for this. I think I listed all the things we could be self-conscious about. I need to trust that I am still who gets to that goal. I am still her. She is still me. And I feel connected to that person. I feel connected to her. I trust that I have what it takes to get there. So while I may not know everything in my way yet, I trust that I'll be met with the opportunities to face that identity shift that gets me closer to her. Because the identity shift is the shedding of the past identity, the former beliefs that held us back, the limitations, the lack that we identified with. There's more chipping away of that identity to reveal the next version of me. And it is hard to continually be challenged because it makes me feel like, will I ever get there? And so the mindset to know yourself and trust yourself allow you to do this third one, which is to have a mindset of no matter what. Because then you're acting as if the wish is fulfilled, right? Like Neville Goddard says, to know and trust yourself that what you have is yours no matter what. To know and trust yourself that you can get through this no matter what. And that no matter what just gives us the courage and the strength to keep going. Because I don't know how it will look. And I don't know the timing of it when it will come. That feeling of complete and absolute utter surrender to what is. I am still working on that sense of total self-acceptance, of enlightenment, of peace, of joy, of clarity. And that is why I do this work. One, because as I go through my own journey, I'm hoping to inspire yours. Inspire you to keep going the distance, keep trusting yourself, keep knowing who you are to have what you want. The things that come up against our path, right, as obstacles in the way of us getting to what we want, it's just there for the dramatics. It makes for a better story.
I got to finish this because I have to walk into Vaughn's. But basically, mindset is at the heart of all this. Mindset, start to finish, is how we know ourselves and trust ourselves, because ultimately those two things make up our identity, right? And it's our identity that's seeing us through this, that's making its way through to the other side, that vision, that version of you. So mindset is the path to enlightenment. And we're just moving level by level. Okay, till the next one. Peace.